Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Ya, selamat datang. Baru tahu. Selamat datang ke episod keempat di Oh Ya Ke. So kita masih lagi dengan Syam Rahman.
Betul.
Kita mengisah episod sebelum ni. Kalau korang belum dengar, korang boleh dengar tentang kisah hijrah dia semua.
Betul.
It's really very fruitful. Aku first time aku dengar Syam punya stories. And aku even tadi aku really touch my heart juga macam.
Touch your heart,
Touch my heart. Aku touch my heart. And
tak jahat.
so sekarang kita nak gerakkan ke hadapan kan?
Okay. Yes.
Kita gerakkan ke hadapan, tapi aku nak gerakkan ke belakang. Faham tak? Kau akan faham lepas aku tanya dia. So Syam, aku nak tanya, okay, walaupun kita dah kawan kan, I think aku wasn't there bila kau start up the business of the Lone Wolf. Okay, diam. Okay. So how engkau came up with this brand Lone Wolf? Adakah engkau duduk dalam gua ke? Lepas tu kau rasa
kenapa tak macam Lone Bird ke,
Lone Ranger,
Lone Peacock ke,
Lone Cat? Tak, kenapa Lone Wolf, and how engkau macam aku rasa aku nak buat gambar wolf, aku nak buat t-shirt lah. How did that thing came about?
Okay, this goes way back way back. Quite sentimental lah, honestly. It basically started from how I grew up as a child. From a child. So aku not very close with my family. Dengan mak aku yes, but not to the point of duduk makan sama-sama, berbual, rancak. Oh, how was your day? Tak ada. It's just that mak masak apa hari? Sekolah semua okay, ni semua okay, dah tu je. Just very brief conversations. Aku tak rapat dengan abang aku. Aku don't have that brotherly macam conversation lah, gurau.
That connection tak ada.
That connection tak ada. Bond lah, that bond. Dengan kakak aku pun tak ada.
Oh, kau ada kakak?
Aku ada kakak.
Aku baru tahu.
I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest. So my eldest is the sister, second is my brother lah. Yeah. So dari aku kecil, it started from when I was 9 years old. Everything kind of like went south lah. Went south to the point where aku isolate myself in my room a lot. Because aku don't have anyone to talk to at home. Also to kira macam aku rasa macam they don't understand me. Time muda, you're not mature to understand. So aku start to isolate myself. So when I start to isolate myself, that's not the part where I got used to it. I wasn't a lone wolf. I was a lonely boy. Legit, it was the opposite.
I was a loner.
I was lonely.
Right.
I was lonely and I was going through loneliness. Aku always seek companions. I always so aku ton. So aku dah start macam remaja ni semua, aku selalu cari kawan. I cannot be alone. At home I got no one to talk to. So my justification is to always cari kawan, ton. Tu yang aku campur budak-budak merepek and stuff like that. So moving forward, aku start to aku start to go through depression. This is a very I don't mind sharing because I know it benefits others lah who are listening lah. So when I was in NS, aku still didn't have. So basically bila aku grow up, yang aku rasa lonely ni semua, aku feel like a victim. Macam tadi kita punya previous episode tu, aku cakap pasal I blame why is this happening to me and stuff like that. So aku victimize myself. Aku macam asal family orang lain macam gini, asal orang lain family boleh makan sama-sama, berbual kekek-kekek. Aku to the point where aku senyum kat rumah dah rasa awkward. Even smiling. Okay, like example, there is like a small gathering, makcik-makcik semua datang, someone make a joke or whatever, aku macam dia aku macam weird weh. Legit to that point lah. To that point lah. So aku got used to it, not to kira macam battle it tau, but aku just accept lah. Macam aku just
I'm like this lah.
Aku lonely lah. Hidup aku gini. And aku remember talking to I always, because when you're alone you always have self conversations, right?
Yes.
Aku remember telling myself this will end after I get married. Because I will have a companion. And I promise myself that I will never let my son go through what I go through. I will always be there for my son. So yeah lah. So moving forward, I was in NS. I went through depression. At that point of my life, everything was rabak. NS datang gaji 420. First week dah habis. Dah habis. Duit EZ-Link semua dah top up ni semua dah habis. 420 mana cukup. I was in a toxic relationship. She was my so-called macam orang yang aku can talk to and stuff like that. So it was toxic. So the person that I relied on was the person hurting me as well.
Right.
I didn't have so-called. And another thing aku nak touch on, kita lelaki, when it comes to depression, it's very I would say toxic. Toxic masculinity. Because kita have this front of men don't break down, men don't feel sad. We have this, we must have this front strong. Backtrack a bit sikit. Aku share this also with my followers as well. Aku pernah open up to my best friend. Aku rasa aku sedih lah kat rumah. Tak ada orang saya nak berbual kat rumah. Aku sedih lah. Aku macam mata aku dah mengalir sikit lah bila berbual dia. Dia cakap aku, kau tak mau kental lah Sia. Sikit-sikit emo. That moment made me shell up.
Yep, worse lah. Pasal you were trying to open up.
Yep, I was trying to open up.
Your friend was macam, betul main standard lah. Standard macam, okay lah, tak ada apa-apa lah.
What was the word? Condescending
I'm not sure.
Dia macam dia turunkan kau lagi lah. Condemnation, discrimination semua.
Carnation.
The English the last person kau tanya.
Okay. Now I know. So after that conversation with him, it made me have this thinking that I cannot open up to anyone.
This was how old?
That time I was 15.
Okay.
I was 15. So aku dah brought up from 15 years old. Aku cannot open up about my feelings to anyone at all because it makes me feel more vulnerable. So aku was in NS and then everything went south. Aku went through depression, and how I figured out I was going through depression was Google. Aku Google
symptoms lah.
Itu kira laughter to cover the sadness lah.
Gitu
So aku Google, then I saw the symptoms. Kurang makan, loss of appetite, loss of weight, lost interest, insomnia, overthinking, all the thing. Dia aku macam, I wasn't trying to relate, but macam ini semua apa aku go through sia. Am I really going through depression? Then I was like trying to like no lah, like I'm a man, I cannot go. This is for weak people lah, weak mindset lah. But it got worse. It got worse to the point I realised was when I had suicidal thoughts. Yeah. So I went through this phase of thinking where if I end my life, I will not feel the pain of what I'm going through. Kira kalau cakap Melayu tu aku mati, aku tak berasa ni semua. Give up.
Penat dah.
Penat, aku dah tak boleh tahan. Aku duduk DB semua. So everything was like rabak lah. And then aku remember writing a suicide note. I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. Aku just at that moment of my life, aku tak tahu diri aku siapa. So eventually something triggered me to actually attempt suicide.
Oh, kau did attempt?
I did. So I'm open to share with this. I also shared this with other podcasts as well. I jumped down from the third story. I jumped down from the third story. And the sad part about that is not about the ni tau. It's the action tau. It's what happened after that. After I did that, aku go a bit detail about that moment. I was hanging by the railing, ledge. I was hanging.
Kau dah terjun ke apa?
Tak, aku climb over. The moment I climb over, instantly regret. Tapi bila aku dah climb over, aku dah ni instant regret that shit, I don't want to die. Korang pernah dengar tengok YouTube about Golden Bridge?
Tak.
Golden Bridge, I think
Golden
in
Bridge.
US.
London Bridge
Tak, first time dengar.
First time.
Golden Bridge. So there was this guy who they interview. The moment he jumped down from the Golden Bridge, that was dia dah ni tau.
Falling
Into the sea. He survived. They interviewed him. The moment he went off, the instant regret. That was what I felt. The moment I went over the ledge, aku dah tengah pegang ni, and then aku tak fit, aku tak boleh pull up. Aku let go. I let go. I landed on my feet sampai menyangkung, and then spring, and then I landed on my back. Imagine I was like what 85 kilo back then. From the third story, pam.
So kau break fall pakai kaki lah?
Pakai kaki, but I tried lah. Then menyangkung, terus pam. It was like a spring. So I landed on my back, and then ambulance came. So at that point of time, my ex was there. She ni tak bidik kau Dia turun dari tingkat 3. Aku expecting macam, B, are you okay? Tak. Aku dapat apa tau? Yelah, lepas ni nanti family you salahkan I. Itu number one. Terus aku macam, aku dah tak boleh benak. You know when you are in pain, so much
kau
pain.
in shock.
Shock and you cannot breathe. Aku dah
nafas kau pendek kan?
pendek macam gitu. Then ambulance came. Aku kena neck brace semua. So number 2, this was the worst part lah. Aku don't want to say who lah, because right now I'm actually quite close with this person lah, but it's a family member. Aku dah dekat hospital bed dalam ward. My family came. Aku kena maki. At that moment all I wanted for was
Tak apa, it's okay.
Kan?
Take your time.
Take your time.
all I wanted for was sympathy. Macam aku nak orang faham kenapa aku buat ni. Not to justify, but to actually realise that what did Syam go through.
I'm actually screaming for help lah.
I'm actually this is my cry for help. My action is I hope that people will actually start to understand and ask me why. But no, I didn't get that. I get a bakul of maki. Kau bodoh ke apa? Kau buat gini kau bodoh, kau tak pakai otak ke apa? Bla bla bla.
Yeah.
Aku tak bidik kau Aku baring dengan naik brace meleleh non-stop.
Yeah, because kau dah tak boleh buat apa-apa. Kau already feel so
Aku
down.
defeated. Aku down. Aku just rabak. That's the worst moment of my life. The worst feeling I felt of my life. After that, aku realise there's no one that can help me except for me.
True.
Back then
Yep,
without really thinking to agama whatsoever. It was only me. So that's where the lone wolf mentality came about. I was still lonely after that. Macam like we said just now, it's a process.
Yes.
Yep.
Of bettering yourself, improving yourself. So my mental health was the most important thing. So how do I improve my mental health? Was to only rely on myself. So aku start to Google how to deal with loneliness, how to do this. Honestly, my brand now is because of Google. I saw the lone wolf mentality. So I read so much about lone wolf mentality, solitude. You are your only supporter. You are your only friend. You are your only. So everything I depend on myself. So I picked up that mentality, and I survived depression. I overcame depression because of that mentality. So from that 21 years old, bila kau kenal aku time aku 24, 26 kan, I still had that in my head. I was going through shit at home. Aku masih tak ada orang sangat pun nak berbual kat rumah. I still went through that, but because of that long mentality, I kira macam so called survive lah. So when I started my business, I kira fast forward lah, aku decided to do a clothing brand. Aku want to advocate this as a mental health as well. How to pick
So
up
for all of them yang macam going through the same thing as kau, so for them to understand better whatever they're going through, kau pernah go through before, and so that they can actually grow out of this lah.
Yes, but not only in the aspect of mental health, but also in the aspect of gym, your physical health, your hustle. Kerja pun kadang-kadang kita harapkan members, kau nak kerja dengan aku part time ni, tak nak pergi lah. Like no, you got to do it yourself. And then kalau kau nak pergi gym, kau pun selalu gym ada yang macam mula-mula orang malu tak nak pergi seorang. Kau nak start gym dengan aku, tak nak dia takkan pergi. So if you have the lone wolf mentality, okay, aku tak nak harapkan siapa-siapa, is diri aku will research all these exercises, semua aku belajar sendiri, aku buat sendiri. You will be better than who you were before.
Nice.
Very
sorry tadi aku a bit.
Tak apa. It's okay.
No problem.
This is very heartfelt. Macam aku also never. Thank you so much. Aku never understand macam how because back then bila aku kenal kau tu, aku feel kau just macam kita party. Aku tak kenal kau apa-apa pun. Jadi kita cuma random time kita lepas party baru kita pergi makan. Kita tak
not
pernah
like deep talks or whatever, live talks lah.
Kita jumpa hotel ni bilik party kan. Kita je pun tak ada, kita tak ada apa-apa sangat. So you got any advice touch on kalau orang macam go through on mental health punya part?
No one to this one. Sebab kalau nak cakap pasal mental health, it's never about ibadah je tau.
Yeah, yes.
Sebab I do have friend, dia hafal Quran 30 juz, hafiz Quran, tapi dia depression.
Yep. Sebab ada orang, aku pernah juga bila
sebab kadang-kadang macam mak bapak kita yang depression ni kurang sembahyang, kurang zikir. So it's never about that aja. So maknanya bukan hanya daripada dalaman, maknanya daripada kita punya mental pun main peranan, kita punya physical pun main peranan.
Sebab I went through depression bila aku going through divorce juga. And every time macam go to my parents, benda tu macam kau tak sembahyang gini-gini. Benda tu actually boleh triggering lah. It triggers kau macam no, you do not understand. This is macam kita sakit.
I mean it helps, tapi it's not 100% from that.
Sebab benda ni medical juga. Sebab kita sakit, macam kita demam, memang kau suka sembahyang. Macam
it's not wrong.
But
correct. It's just that
tapi
it doesn't work that way yet lah, in the sense lah.
100% yeah.
Okay, so aku now kita move on from that part So aku terlalu nampak kau okay, nak campakkan dia jaket.
Tak apa.
Selimut tu tutup.
Tak apa. Okay, sorry.
Mana kau dapat kau punya inspiration to always do the designs? Itu very interesting pada aku. Sebab aku tengok kau quite active buat macam different design. Every few months kau selalu drop kan. So
how's the response
and what is your inspiration
Okay. Aku started with honest aku tak tahu apa-apa pasal designing. Aku tak tahu apa-apa pasal art ni semua. I started my first design. It was a photo of, aku nak cakap, you know what, just say it lah.
Up to you.
Open lah. It was a photo of my tattoo. It's a Yeah. So I
remember. So now all of you tengah pakai baju tu.
Yang mana? Yang 3
actually
tadi
kau tengah pakai dia.
It was my first design. Aku dah tak release. So that was my first ever design. So and then I remember, ni bukan lancar I was on another podcast. So this podcast also asked me lah about how I started my business, my brand ni semua. Kali one of the podcaster asked me lah, dia cakap aku dah nampak baju kau kat luar, satu budak-budak Melayu ni pakai. Aku felt like wow, my brand is exposed. I felt happy. Dia dah angkat aku. Lepas tu dia campak aku kat bawah. Kau tahu saya cakap apa? Aku dah nampak baju kau kat luar, tapi aku tengok kau punya design macam classroom t-shirt.
Mak. Habis kau tak check hook dia
kat podcast bro?
Check gitu
Aku macam habis aku kutuk gua je. But at that moment, because everything was recording ni, aku macam yalah, I'm still working on my designs lah. But I took it constructively. After that, straight away aku pergi ambil course Adobe Illustrator. So I need to learn the basics of Adobe Illustrator ni semua, blah blah blah. Then I learn how to do typography. My t-shirt just ni je, just words je. Then from the design ni semua aku dah start belajar.
Kau upgrade lah. I mean, in a way dia ada good effect on kau juga. Sebab kau realize okay, kau take the negative. Of course benda tu macam mesti lah kalau orang cakap aku jagung kau apa saya meripik macam orang cakap tak sedap kan. But
yalah, I mean that's business.
Maybe that is a good
it's business. You have to take the critics.
Yep. So
advantage.
So now sekarang inspiration kau macam maybe kau cari apa, Pinterest ke apa?
Pinterest, more to things that I would wear myself. Because I believe my business, how I sell my product is something that I would actually wear. If your product knowledge, like you can style your own design or whatsoever. Macam let's say you buat baju kurta ke apa, you would wear this yourself. So you know how to style it, you know how to sell it. So the designs I would wear myself, I design it.
So how was the first punya sale? Bila you keluarkan tu, respon
macam
dari orang tu macam kira macam habis terus ataupun you need to push?
Dia progressive. Okay. It started with WhatsApp. WhatsApp me to order, DM me to order. Very kira macam
pening kan?
Pening punya, but tak proper.
Ke TikTok ke?
Facebook, Instagram. So basically I use my personal branding to market my business branding. So yalah, DM me to order. So dia tak ada track, tak ada data, tak ada analytics ni, stuff like that. Tak ada inventory, aku tak kira ni semua. Janji jual.
Apa yang jual lah, Lego
janji PayNow, tengok masuk, okay dah. Send screenshot, okay dah.
Aku invest 500, sekarang 750, aku dah untung lah. Aku punya business lah.
Google Sheets lah, at least standard sikit. So then after that, SingPost, aku beli stamps, semua beli all that. Okay lah. Then until I learn more about the business, I went to YouTube, research ni semua. I created a website. Website ni kira kita punya kedai lah, online store. And then I created a pre-drop hype marketing campaign. So macam okay, ni nak sampai. I only release 100 t-shirts. So people were waiting for it because it's exclusive. It's the exclusive value. So when I drop the, kira macam okay, dia ada countdown. I always like aggressively post. Dia ada okay, countdown 3 more days, 2 more days, 1 more day. Okay, drop guys 7 PM. 7 PM alhamdulillah back then dah ada dalam 50-60 orang waiting. Live visitors waiting. Then I put a password also. So orang yang follow me aja will get the password. So they had to queue up lah, macam online virtual queuing. So alhamdulillah 80% sold. Tinggal macam XS all this. So yalah, that's where I felt like the support was very not say overwhelming, macam I really appreciated the support lah.
Engkau did a lot of improvements lah, macam in the sense of how kau market it. Sekarang macam kau dah tak make DM lagi dah, website and everything. So it's a process lah. Macam I think you see from Lone Wolf at the start sampai sekarang tu beza lah. Macam sekarang kau ada office sendiri kan. Dulu maybe kau buat kat rumah kan. Aku tu dulu start dia macam dropship. Kau buat yang ni, yang live jual barang-barang lah.
Oh,
benda tu kan. So that's aku tahu first bila time COVID punya time. Dia buat LAN. Okay, kita sekarang ada jual iPhone sekarang. Okay,
auction.
Macam gitu. Auction. Okay, share kita sekarang. Aku nak tahu pasal sekarang latest punya design ni. Aku nampak yang apa baru punya. Okay, share sikit apa ni.
Okay. So sekarang tengah trending. It's trending, and like I said, I would personally wear it. So I want to sell this. I want to make Lone Wolf of this product. It's a retro jersey. Style gila lah. Like style, I would definitely wear this lah.
So retro jersey. Yang retro jersey. Yang tak lah saya retro.
Itu yang kat shopping mall tu
ada.
Pacik-pacik
punya.
Itu metro. Itu metro.
Retro jersey tu kira jersey lama-lama, but now it's trending.
Jersey lama ada collar.
Yes, ada collar.
Macam Manchester, dia tengah Google retro jersey.
Retro jersey. Tak apa, at least dia ada visual ni reference.
Ya.
Yang jersey macam Manchester dulu ada yang jersey ada collar besar tu. That thing is tengah trend. So ini drop bila?
InsyaAllah before end of the year.
Before end of the year. So sempat lah kita nice. Sempat insyaAllah. So tunggulah password. Ada password juga ke?
Ni tak ada.
Tak ada password Ini cepat-cepat.
Kalau nak boleh follow the lonewolf.apparel on Instagram for drop updates lah.
Okay. Kita nak move forward dengan boxing pula lah. Okay. Kita orang kenal kita dua sebagai boxing.
This is the start
Wait.
The origin.
You're talking kita dua ke sana ke
kita
sini?
Kita dua ke sini.
Okay.
Dia nak juga.
Kita minta kena boxing lain. Sebab a lot of people kenal kita dua yang all this macam drama ni semua kan. And then dah habis tu aku tengok kau all out tu. Aku sekejap lepas tu because aku have other things to do, aku cannot keep up. And I know macam dia training dia. Kita had this conversation before macam how do we keep up with this macam kita nak fokus on business, kerja, habis kita nak fokus on boxing. Macam apa drive kau ni macam sampai kau boleh macam no, I still want to push boxing.
Okay lah, aku cakap honest.
So aku tu dulu kau silat.
Yes.
Kan?
Yeah. Why? Because dulu kira macam time Makrib punya time kita suka fight.
Shadow box
Tak shadow box, kira Makrib punya art lah.
Butterfly block.
Butterfly lah, sapu lah. Aku dah buat video how to fight like Makrib.
Macam mana fight kau dulu?
Fight.
Dia nak kena ada pinky finger.
Kan?
Lidah kat pipi. Itu dah salah tau.
Itu dah bunyi dengan bunyi. Salah.
Astagfirullah.
Oh gitu.
Bukan itu joget.
Okay, ada. Okay, so yalah, I mean aku memang suka fight. And then like aku join silat.
Aku tahu kau suka fight. Aku tahu sangat.
Itu so aku suka fight. And then I join silat. And then I stop. But after like
silat tu secondary school apa?
No, I was 17. Sekejap je, like a few months. Aku compete one fight je. So aku stop. So after that aku memang minat boxing dari dulu dari dulu lah. Aku suka tengok boxing, but I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to start. Tak ada orang invite aku. Macam dulu aku takut sorang, aku takut sorang. So tak ada member, tak ada tangkis, stuff like that. So what was the question again?
Kau aku lupa balik apa kau punya push drive kau. Macam kenapa kau continue all the macam yes, boxing is something aku nak buat lah.
Okay. So bila the thing started with you, it was like a macam opening
Yes.
Like inilah aku punya opportunity to actually start something that I actually wanted to do.
Kau always wanted to do.
That I always wanted to do for the longest time, and this is the opportunity. And to fight in the ring in front of people is also a dream. Like you can fight under the block or whatever dekat sparring apa, but to fight in front of people is like a performance.
Yes.
If you see it as like a performance.
Lain tu, nervous
nervous.
And dapat kalahkan Jufri lagi kan.
Alhamdulillah.
Punya semangat lagi.
But that was the goal lah. Macam I wanted to fight in front of people to compete lah basically. And then what pushed me like after the fight aku masih on. Dia dah addictive lah. Macam gian tau. Macam jalan-jalan aku akan macam
Dia
sorry.
macam
box sendiri.
every boxer kau pan kamera nanti kau kayak gini kan. Random
dia dah
je.
jadi like part of your
macam budak yang belakang skrin pun sama juga. Macam jab yang muka dia. Okay, faham.
Yeah, it became like part of like everyday thing
Yeah.
And then hari-hari tengok YouTube boxing habis I did stop for a while. So basically I after our fight I fought 2 or 3 more times. The last one I lost. So because of that loss I actually wanted to stop.
The one
National Championship I lost. I stopped for like 3 months. I told myself, okay, you know what? Because you know why not? The reason why I wanted to stop, it's not only because of the loss, because it was affecting my business. Like what you said just now, it took a lot of my time to the point where I did not focus on my business.
Bukan kita boxing je?
Yeah, boxing. You know, like leading up to our fight, aku masuk office. Aku masuk office dalam pukul 11 pagi.
Kau shadow box sampai malam?
Tak lah. Aku tak buat kerja.
Chop je.
Aku tak buat kerja.
Tengok boxing video.
Kat depan komputer. Imagine we are in this office.
Yeah.
Aku buka YouTube tengok aku tengok Rocky 1 sampai Creed ya. There's a movie franchise all the way aku habis count YouTube boxing for 3 months.
All out.
And then I justified myself by saying like, okay, tak apa, aku pacers can wait. This is more important. Then after that I have to go through that process, that experience, that I know how to balance lah. So after that 3 months aku during that 3 months aku rindu boxing. And I gain weight. Gain weight.
Kau cepat ya? Aku
Aku
rasa kau cepat.
Aku cepat naik, cepat turun. I gain weight. So I went back to training to lose the weight. Then bila dah sparring macam sedap pula so aku pergi fight lagi.
Continue balik Sekarang gym mana?
Sekarang aku with Rumble Man Boxing.
Rumble Man kau nak jumpa Rumble Man kat mana? Jumpa Rumble Man kalau nak join Rumble Man
Okay, so just
shout out sekali lah.
So Rumble Man is an outdoor boxing club lah. Kita train kat luar Kallang Stadium Gate 7. So and the pulling factor is kita charge $60 je
per month.
Per month.
Murah.
So $60 I think is feasible. So now we are so called giving back to the community by charging that amount for now. Because kita pun tak ada running cost. Kita train outdoor. But the coach is has been around for 15 years lah.
Macam Fat sama lah. Dia ada 16 years of boxing experience kan. 16 years
16 years.
So daripada 15 tahun dia boxing tak tahu kat mana, kat Yemen. Okay. Okay, aku nak tahu sikit more of bila kau yang nationals tu. I was there. Aku feel kau macam what was going through your mind tu bila kau macam aku nampak kau terduduk kat luar and then kau just space. Kau space tu, kau duduk, kau space out.
Lepas aku kalah.
Oh,
kau nampak
kau tak
Aku remember that I went out to be
Aku
alone.
yang Syam boleh tak ada apa-apa. Aku punya fanatic kalau every time kau fight.
Tahu
Aku
tak.
cakap
I'm talking about the after the fight aku keluar.
Yes.
Dia sampai bawa baju lone wolf tau. Dia macam
aku duduk sebelah kau, aku gini kat kepala kau. Tak apa. Syam, tak
Aku dah in my own.
Aku tak ada ni aku nak tanya ni. So bila kau tengah duduk
dia tangkap ah.
Yeah, awak dia dah tangkap.
Kira macam gitu lah.
Baik. Bagus. Lidah. Oh.
Tak betul.
Sebodoh lah. Okay, so apa going through kau punya mind tu bila kau dah kalah and then kau macam aku nampak kau duduk, kau zone. Kau just space out, kau duduk and aku tahu kau nak break. Kau dah nak break down dah. Tapi everybody was there, so kau couldn't let out the emotion. So what was going through your mind?
That was my third or fourth fight lah. Third fight I think. My first loss. So I had to understand. Aku nak kena process ni rupanya rasa kalah. And I felt so disappointed in myself. A lot of questions macam did I not train enough? Am I not good enough? A lot of macam what if this and that. Dia pre-fight
self-blame ke apa?
Self-blame. So I had to, aku kan suka rationalize. So aku nak kena understand why did I lose? How did I lose? Blah blah blah. But end of the day I didn't blame anyone lah. I blame myself. At that moment bila aku keluar tu, aku pergi belakang stadium sana. Aku duduk for a moment. I did tear up. So I understood this is the feeling of losing. Because aku tak pernah experience. And that was, to be honest, one of the most the thing that taught me the most. Losing teaches you. That's why they say you don't win. You win or learn.
You win or you learn.
Yes, you win or learn. So I don't lose because I learn a lot from that loss. Yeah.
I think Ustaz want to touch on macam peperangan Nabi. Ada juga dari Nabi
kalah. Tahu terus peperangan
yes, sama juga dia dalam ring tu perang. Perang. So I think Nabi pun ada peperangan yang dia kalah.
Yes.
Kan?
So ada satu peperangan yang awal sekali, peperangan. Jadi ketika Nabi SAW awal sekali peperangan, the first peperangan is peperangan Badar. Benar, yang 313 lawan 1000 orang. Orang Muslim menang 313 ni. So the second one, orang rasa macam boleh ni confirm boleh menang punya.
Sama lah kan, macam
second fight
boleh menang punya ni, tak ada masalah. Dulu 313. Sekarang tak ada apa-apa lah orang kafir. So ini dipanggil sebagai perang Uhud. So Uhud tu adalah dia punya gunung yang ada di daerah Madinah. So bila nak perang ni, Rasul letak 50 orang ke atas satu bukit ni, dipanggil sebagai Bukit Rumah. Rumah tu maknanya archery.
Archery ya. Kita apalah.
Okay. So
kita faham. Kita faham. Panah. Tim memanah. So bila tengah perang ni, kali betul lah Muslim dah start nak menang ni. Orang-orang kafir dah start tu lari. Tapi yang orang ke atas ni nampak, sebab untuk dulu peperangan dorang ada namanya ghanimah. Ghanimah tu maknanya harta rampasan perang. So bila dorang nak perang ni, dorang akan bawa dorang punya emas lah, dorang punya unta lah, dorang punya kambing, dorang punya kuda, everything, which is harta. So bila dorang lari, dorang tinggalkan harta tu. Yalah.
So orang-orang yang atas 50 orang ni kat atas bukit ni,
lepas tahu tu bukit.
43 orang turun bawah nak ambil harta.
Allah.
Tapi ingat, harta dia ambil harta ni bukan disebabkan dia gila harta, tak. Dia nak tolong saja, nak ambil, nak kumpulkan. Itu je. Tapi Rasul before start, Rasul bilang apa? Nak macam mana pun jangan turun dari bukit. So daripada orang kafir ni ada namanya Khalid bin Walid. Sebelum masuk Islam, dia masih kafir lagi masa tu. Dia nampak opportunity ni, kemudian dia pusing. Dia serang daripada belakang. Dia serang yang orang yang pernah panah ni, 4 orang lagi ni. Kemudian yang lain semua dia bantai. Yang lain nampak Khalid bin Walid ni serang, diorang dari depan pun serang. Sadin.
Aduh.
Saat situ banyak orang yang meninggal. So itu peperangan pertama yang orang Islam kalah.
Tapi lepas tu,
then after that baru ada namanya Hamrul Asad, which is perintah daripada Allah SWT untuk orang yang dah kalah ni tetap pergi untuk perang kembali. Orang yang sama. Tapi orang-orang kafir, diorang balik, diorang tak datang balik. Sebab diorang tengok, ni orang-orang yang orang Muslim tu hari kita baru bantai ni. Diorang datang balik nak bantai kita ni. Kita jalan sudah.
Because jiwa dia semangat lain.
Yes, that's a victory after that.
So I think same boleh relate kat engkau lah. Sebab engkau punya loss tu yang engkau
first tu you dah rasa ada macam boleh, tak ada masalah, bawa je.
Honest
macam you know, honest, kasih je. But after that when you felt that, tapi jangan lupa you will feel the punya victory back again. Bila you still consistent, jangan menyerah.
Sekarang kan?
Yeah. So based on my experience, 16 years of boxing, tak ada.
Ustaz boleh.
So bila next coming fight apa ni? Bila?
My next fight is it 18?
LSI ni warm up bukan? Memang kau just tak ada lain, there's no only any other sanction fights ke atau ni LSI?
Ada lah, most probably there's, I don't know, should we? Yeah, there's one guy who called me out lah on social media.
Yang itu kenapa?
So cerita dia gini, dia baru fight sekali. Dia menang. Dia tak menang lah, but dia yek gila. Okay, sorry. Yek tu macam step lah.
Step.
Dia macam step dalam ring tu, dia boleh ton.
Kira step tu sombong kan?
Yes, somehow. Belagak, yes, belagak.
16 years of boxing macam gitu.
Yes.
Dia baru first fight, dia dah belagak dalam ring, dia dah ton, dia letak tangan belakang dia. Dia macam.
Tapi dia menang kalah.
Itu it's not a sanction fight. Tapi
itu.
Sila tu nama dia.
Jalan dengan aku dulu. Tak lah. Relax bro.
Yeah, so he just fought one time. Dia baru fight satu kali. Tiba-tiba dia buat TikTok video, dia call aku out. I want a bigger challenge. I want to fight Syam Rahman.
Tak ada, dia nak cloud je. Tak lah.
Tak tahulah Allah alam So aku tengah consider lah. It should happen.
Dia sama weight lah.
Sama weight.
Kan nampak dia macam ringan je.
I think he's 80 plus lah.
Tu lah nak turun. Kau turun.
I have to go down lah.
Aku feel that before.
Wait.
Faham.
Turun ada
aku
beza.
nak kena
ada kategori kan? Ada banyak kategori.
Yes.
Sama macam silat lah.
Ya.
Silat pun ada kategori.
Yes. Sama lah.
Yeah. So it might, that one might
silat
happen.
aku belajar dulu. Betul.
Faham. Silat kau belajar dari mana?
Indonesia.
Oh, itu yang terbang-terbang ah?
Lain.
Terbang bukan Okay, aku nak tanya this one touch on personal family sikit lah. Sebab bila bila kita ni drama isu, aku tu mak kau very concern. Syam mak tu sebab dia tanya dia, Syam, kau ni nak pergi pukul anak siapa ni? Kelakar. So how supportive your parents, especially mak kau macam yes, macam dia very supportive ke dia macam hantar kau lah Sam, kau nak buat apa ke, macam mana tu?
Dia at first of course like what you said, kau apa pasal ni gaduh-gaduh? Because she saw my TikTok video. Kau gaduh dengan siapa ni? So of course I had to sedapkan hati dia lah. Tak lah mak, it's just a sport, it's just for a sport. Aku tak nak lah kau kena tumbuk muka ni semua. Because I used to do silat tak tumbuk kepala apa. Ni boxing tumbuk kepala. Macam mak, don't worry, just mak doakan, I will train hard and I will do my best. Dah tu je, dah habis.
Okay dia?
Dah.
Maksud dia macam
Okay.
Macam okay, make sure ya mak, ya.
Aku kalau kalah second time, bapak aku cakap kau jangan tak boxing lagi. Macam mana? Lagi?
Serius lah?
Aku pasal tercabut. Aku tercabut shoulder depan mata dia. Ada cakap aku dah tak payah ni boxing yang kau pergi buat belly. Tak lah.
Macam lembu siang kau buat belly.
Aku pun nak start balik. Aku tengah start balik training. Aku tengah condition balik. So walaupun tak ada orang tanya dari tadi. Okay, this one very highlight sikit lah question aku ni. Are you proud of where boxing community is now?
Ui.
Ini tak payah macam, okay, aku tahu understand this very heavy question. Sebab aku tahu sekarang orang yang kita riak ke apa. Aku say akunya dulu. Okay. Sebab aku before this tak pernah into boxing. Aku tak tahu how the scene is like. So aku feel yang ada banyak orang yang budak-budak ni feel yang diorang nak buat boxing after diorang tengok kita atau event. Ada yang orang nak buat event juga after kita meet event. So at the end of the day, benda tu inspire orang to do something good, which is boxing is a very healthy sport. And orang understand yang siapa-siapa yang the previous event, yang ada boxing event yang buat juga ni, diorang now understand that boxing is not easy. And then boxing is this macam respectable sport lah. Bukan senang duk. Macam kau ingat kan pakai glove kau bajau budak tu untuk 9 minit total. But it's not as easy. Macam orang training 16 tahun ni. Tapi dalam 16 tahun tu dia train 2 kali je. So aku honestly
every 8 years lah.
Orang boleh kata macam dia ni jaya lah apa tak. Aku feel proud that ada people out there yang macam inspired by what we did, and then they also want to learn boxing. So aku nak tahu kau punya own thoughts lah. It's okay kalau kau nak share ke tak share, it's up to you.
Boxing community I think it's growing. I think lah, because I mean I don't know. Before I wasn't I didn't even see the boxing community. But
so
now
kita not in the circle apa?
Yeah, now that so called I am in the circle, I can see especially on TikTok, because we cannot see when we are not there. So now it's all online presence. I see a lot of youngsters shadow boxing kat bawah blok. Dulu kita kecam, but now that I have actually go that path, I don't look down on them anymore because they are actually trying something.
Dulu orang buat punching bag kat dalam AF, kita menyampah kan?
Yes.
Aku pun.
Yeah, exactly. So we back then dulu kita tend to macam look down. Ini macam faham step boxing. But now I see like what you mentioned after, I don't know lah whether it's true or not, but I do receive, I think the best accomplishment I received after my boxing journey after I started is when people tell me they started because of me. Like Syam, I'm so inspired by your video, seeing you train, make me start. By now I started learning myself. Aku rasa macam itu worth more than all the medals yang aku dah dapat. Because you actually change someone's life. And if you look at it in a deeper context, aku rather budak ni shadow boxing daripada dia pergi fight kat sekolah, rembat orang, jadi mak rape. Dia akan continue tau. Because boxing will groom your character. It will groom your
the discipline and everything.
Yes, discipline your mindset to be an athlete. Kau nak pergi jogging, kau nak this and that. So diorang tak stray away to become like a marip. Misal diorang suka gaduh apa?
Dan kau buat betul lah.
They do it legally in the ring as a sport, not as a vice. That's my take to be honest.
Tapi tak pergi jauh-jauh lah. So I'm the one of the person yang
nak belajar boxing juga.
Dulu bila ni dua tengah kecoh dulu. So I was one of the person yang macam boxing
interesting. So
that's how I bought all this thing. Tapi to approach the both of you,
macam malu lah. Memang kita kena approach pun kita apa
that's the
it started from there.
Dia macam silent trigger. Ada macam they spark the interest.
Yep.
And then the action that comes after it, like the decision. Aku nak beli glove, aku nak try shadow box. Shadow box dia sikit depan cermin je dah it's the first step already.
Yeah, it is.
Nanti dia grow.
Sama lah.
Cuma main tak grow.
Dia shadow je, box dia tak ada. Ada anything closing? You got anything to share? Okay, this is last minute kita close off.
Yes.
Any advice or anything that you want to share that touch on any of your followers lah? Advice lah maybe. Kau macam
ataupun you pernah dapat any macam powerful advice.
Can be hijrah, can be boxing, can be anything.
Okay.
Ni boleh kita fokus kat kau punya own camera, kau buat lah. Bodoh lah ni. Kena kolok.
Macam mana dia buat?
Kolok.
Okay. My advice is more towards the youngsters lah. Okay. From how I grew up, the person I was before is solely because of who I mix with. So the people you mix with, the circle you are in defines who you are, defines your future. Kalau kau campur dengan mak drug, kau akan hisap drug eventually. Kalau kau tak, alhamdulillah kau tahu separate. Sorry to say, am I allowed to say that?
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Kalau kau tak isap rokok, kau campur budak-budak isap rokok, eventually kau pun akan isap rokok.
Betul.
High chances lah, not say confirm but high chances. So if you surround yourself with like-minded people who chase growth, self-development, self-improvement, in terms of agama also, anything for the better, stick to them. But if you don't, be a lone wolf.
Oh, nice.
Dia
Last
mic
kali
drop dia baik
Ya, aku boleh drop.
Chase goals. Kita kau jangan buat video kita Syam.
Chase goals, not girls.
Chase goals, not woman. Bukan, okay. Moving on. Sorry bang.
They lost.
Tak boleh, dia memang tu video TikTok. Video TikTok. Okay. Fad, ada anything to close off?
Dah, good night.
Itu
je. Simple.
Okay, bodoh lah. Okay. Thank you so much Syam for coming over and sharing.
Thank you for inviting lah.
No worries. Thank you so much guys. Kita akan berjumpa lagi di next episode insyaAllah. Dengan itu siapa tetamunya kita belum tahu lagi. InsyaAllah nanti kita akan update korang. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Take care, bye.